When you're struggling, can you ask others around you for help without feeling like a burden? Do you have people in your life that are dependable? Do you find it hard to express your needs? When they ask, "What can I do to help you feel better?" you start drawing blanks. You didn't think you'd get that far, and it leaves you feeling frustrated because you don't know what you need. When we try to help other people, there are different types of support we can give. Of course, every person is unique and needs something tailor-made to their experiences and personalized to meet their circumstances. Unfortunately, this means that there really isn't one size fits all when it comes to advice. This is why you have to make the effort to understand who it is you want to help. And before we break down all those types of support, we have to explain how you can find what it is the other person needs. And that's by becoming an illuminator. In How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen by David Brooks, he explains the concept of illuminating other people. He claims that in a given group, you can either be a diminisher or an illuminator. Diminishers are self-centered, often stereotype or belittle others, and can have trouble seeing things from others' perspective. They're highly convinced that their way of seeing things is the only way, or at least the only one that's worth talking about. Diminishing attitudes can rear themselves in everyday conversation, from a rude high school bully to your obnoxious father, or even how you talk about yourself. If you ever make a mistake, do you extend yourself grace? Is your self-talk gentle? The truth is, a diminisher is not only diminishing other people, but is locking themselves from truly connecting with others. This is why they make assumptions about how other people think, when they are probably the least knowledgeable about what goes on in other people's minds. When you make the claim of who somebody is, or what they believe, especially without asking, you are highly likely to be incorrect, though this doesn't stop them from trying. As it might be expected, an illuminator is the opposite. They are curious about other people. They're gentle, kind, and open, and they genuinely want to see others holistically. The idea of being an illuminator is not blindly loving everybody or not holding people accountable. In fact, an illuminator is more likely to hold someone accountable, because a diminisher will likely make an assumption about who somebody is and won't challenge that. So if a diminisher's partner is disloyal, but they're convinced they're a wonderful person, they would rather not face the fact that they're wrong. While an illuminator can see fully who someone is because they work to understand other people, even if they don't agree with them. Understanding behavior is not condoning it. Even if you feel like you're not an illuminator now, the beauty of it is that it's a skill that can be learned. In fact, now that you've watched this section of the video, you have the awareness of what an illuminator does. So this is the first step to cultivating those skills. Be gentle with yourself, listen to others intently, and strive to drop preconceived notions about who someone might be before you've had the chance to get to know them. If you'd like a deeper breakdown of the skills in his book, I'd recommend giving it a read for yourself, or leave a comment below and we can dedicate a full video to it in the future. And don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. We're nearly at 5K. So with that illuminator mindset, we're going to explore the 4 types of support that can be given. The first is informational support. Now this is probably the one that most people are familiar with. I mean, this video is basically that. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. If you've never worked out before, this is something that you'll have to learn more about to accomplish. You might have people in your life who suggest things to you like certain diets, specific exercise routines, or other ideas for how you should proceed. There isn't a specific issue with informational support in general. It's good to have more knowledge, and it's necessary to learn how to do things. But the issue arises when you get unsolicited advice. Very often, people will give their 2 cents without asking. Remember, an illuminator wants to understand where someone is coming from. Not everyone wants advice, and it's important to clarify. Just ask, "Do you want a suggestion, or would you like my guidance?" It seems a little bit awkward to drop in a conversation, but when in doubt, asking never hurts. Clarity is a good thing, and if someone is giving you unsolicited advice and you feel uncomfortable to say something, you should speak up. A healthy conversation relies on both parties being able to communicate their needs. And sometimes what you need is not a how-to guide or someone else's life story, but you need to be heard or provided something different. Now before we proceed, just because somebody wants a type of support doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it. We can want things and not receive them, but that doesn't make us entitled to those types of support or those types of wants or needs. You have to be around others who want to give those things to you. You can't force someone to want to take care of you. This is obviously within reason. I'm not talking about basic things like food, water, shelter, or safety. Speaking of which, the second is instrumental support. This is something more tangible. It's the most straightforward out of all 4. If you want to go to the store to buy groceries, you need money. If you want to make it to class, you need a ride to get there. If you want to read a book, you need a library or internet access. It may seem obvious when I list those examples, but sometimes people are afraid of asking for something because it's so simple. Maybe they haven't gotten paid yet and are short in cash. and are scared of asking for a meal. Maybe they feel embarrassed about setting up a gym membership and would like help filling out the forms. These barriers to entry on certain tasks can feel overwhelming for some individuals, especially those who are neurodivergent. Claiming you don't know something is challenging, but claiming you lack something fundamental is way harder on the ego. There's a bit of defeat and humility present when you acknowledge you're in a position of need, and I think that's what stops some people from saying it even when that's the most important part. You don't want other people's pity or mercy. You want a helping hand when you're down. You don't want to be made less of or shamed for struggling when you're already in so much pain as it is. That last part especially ties into the next type of support, which is number 3, emotional support. Very often we will tackle problems that don't have solutions, at least not immediate ones. When we're in those situations, we tend to lack the agency to change our circumstances, or we are faced with a problem that's too big for one person to fix. It's moments like that that cause us to understand we only have so much control of the world around us. We can get incredibly frustrated by that fact. So in cases where our feelings are too much to hold, we need someone to empathize with us, to validate those feelings, or to lend an ear from time to time. Tears are meant to be shed. You're not stronger just because you refuse to cry. You're just being less honest with yourself. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. And when you feel lonely, you need love and affection. And this comes together in the final type of support. Number 4 is social support. Maybe after hearing all of the types, you're still not quite sure what it is you need. You're not sure if it's more knowledge you require to fix your problems, you're not sure if it's fundamental pieces that are missing to your life, or you're not sure if it's emotions that you can't deal with. Maybe you have all of those things, or know how to cope without them. For some of us, we don't need others to fix our problems, or provide any type of support that we can't give ourselves. What we need is something that can only be given by another: companionship. When dark thoughts rear their ugly head and life sends struggles our way, the best remedy isn't to turn on the light, but to sit in the darkness. Being by someone's side can be enough. Just that peace of mind is necessary. It fulfills something deeper, almost primal within us, a longing to be accompanied through life, a wish to be treated as an equal and being allowed the space to deal with the problems as you would like. Each of these supports doesn't exist in isolation. They all overlap, and you may find yourself needing all 4, or maybe just one. But by understanding how to better meet your needs, you also grow to understand how to meet the needs of those around you. Whether that's sharing knowledge, giving tangible assistance, emotional care, or providing your presence, we could all benefit from being more honest about our needs. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.